3, 2, 1. Jefferson Snedegar. How you doing, boss?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Are you nervous at all?
I would be lying to say if I wasn't, but I try to keep things cool around here.
Yeah, you've always been someone who's been really good at speaking, in my opinion. Like, anytime, even my girlfriend, like, you guys did the superintendent thing together.
Superintendent Student Advisory Council, or as we like to call it, SAC. So.
Yeah, she came. We hung out like after one of the meetings, and she just brought up, "Oh, Jeff is like really good at talking."
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I do my best.
Mm-hmm.
I am a radio, television, and film major, so I'm crossing my fingers that I can do something where I'm maybe talking and presenting. So
yeah, here, let's talk about that. Also, could you bring the microphone just a little bit towards you, a little more?
A little bit towards me.
Yeah, just to like tilt the whole thing.
How's that?
Turn the whole thing. Little more.
Little more.
That should be good.
This is good? Okay.
That's good.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So what are your like future plans? Because I could never really like pinpoint one specific thing that you would do.
Mm-hmm. Me neither, honestly. And I'm still struggling just a little bit.
Yeah.
But right now the plan is to go to Northwestern this fall.
Yeah.
I move in the 13th of September, so pretty late.
Yeah, you're way later than anyone else I know.
Very late. Josh has moved out. A lot of people have moved out. Mike has moved out.
Yeah.
But,
and Miles is going to be moving out this next weekend.
Yeah. So we're missing everybody, but
yeah.
I'll be here for a while, and then I'll go this September and pursue a degree in radio, television, and film.
Is that similar to what your brother's doing, Jack?
That is true. Jack is a dual major, one in journalism and then one in strategic communications.
Oh, okay.
Which is
strategic.
I don't 100%.
Sounds like a war thing.
Yeah. I don't 100% understand it. He's explained it to me many times, but it's like, to the best of my knowledge, it's sort of a span-all, less specific major where once you graduate, you can do a little bit more odd jobs, less concrete stuff. So he wants to be in music marketing and music management.
Oh, okay, that's dope. So what is yours like? Yours is different from that a little bit, is it?
Probably.
Probably.
It's probably the closest thing that Madison offers that isn't just a direct like film major. But I would most likely be learning editing.
Yeah.
Probably writing. I could do a course in screenwriting, which I'm really excited about. Stuff like that would be accessible to me at Northwestern.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited for that.
So which aspect of that are you like most interested in? Are you interested in the editing, the writing? You just said you were excited for the writing part, but which part of that are you really excited for?
I'm very excited to learn screenwriting for comedic television.
That sounds up your alley.
I would love to work on a TV show, whether it be a sitcom thing or maybe more so like an outlandish Rick and Morty type, whatever I can get, I would like to. But it seems like such a fun job, very creative, always working, not always doing the same thing. Something that would be fun for me, I think would be nice.
No, that sounds right up your alley. Actually, the other day I was going over like old videos and old old TikToks even, just like it was mostly Owen stuff because we were talking about that before, but I remember you were in this video, bruh. Do you remember that where he was Richard Nixon and I guess he was like, it was like a horror sort of thing. It was, and I just remember you being really funny in it, and like the TikToks, like you have 2 TikToks,
I
have
right? 2. I keep them cultivated, you know?
Yeah, they're the funniest TikToks. Like,
I really appreciate it.
They're so underappreciated. They're like top tier. The funniest one is the one we did in Ayusha's basement, where you just walk in, the phone's ringing, you're just like, whose phone is that? And then we threw an exercise ball at you.
And it hits me in the face and it immediately cuts.
Yes.
There's no finish to that. It's right as it goes. Yeah, I have a couple TikToks. I don't want to put out too many because I'm not a TikToker.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I put them out there and they get very small appeal, maybe 1 or 2 likes. But I really appreciate those 1 or 2 likes because somebody liked it, somebody I don't know.
Yeah. No, and they're so funny. So when I hear that you want to go into like writing for sitcoms or any other like comedy shows or movies, that sounds right for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun. And then if that doesn't work out, The other plan is to become the host of Survivor.
You want to take who's the host right now? What's his name?
That's Jeff Probst. So
is he the same guy who's been doing it for forever?
yeah, over 20 years at this point. So he's
Damn!
getting old. I believe he's at least 60.
What? There's no way.
He looks really good for 60. He looks really good for a person who's 60.
Yeah.
And his job is going to places like Cambodia and just being out in the sun all day.
Yeah.
But they're gonna need a new Jeff sometime soon, so I might have to swoop in there and get my spot.
Jeff Snedegar. Yeah, have you because I know you've gotten obsessed with Survivor recently.
I do love myself some Survivor.
Yeah, so when did you start watching that?
I was 17, I think.
So what was that, like a year ago too?
About a year ago, maybe. Mm-hmm. I definitely wasn't 16. A lot of people grow up watching Survivor.
Yeah.
And then they sort of had this nostalgic tie to it. And it's a little bit funny because I don't at all.
Yeah.
I didn't start watching Survivor until maybe a little over a year ago.
I have to admit, I wouldn't know anything about the Survivor fan base or community.
It's kind of crazy. It's a lot of Survivor has a lot of familial ties for people. They grew up watching it with their family. Yeah. But my first season of Survivor was season 4. And I reluctantly watched it with my brother Jack because he had seen the first 3. And he was like, Jeff, I'm home for winter break. And I got this. I pirated Survivor season 4. You gotta watch it with me. And I'm like, Survivor, isn't that like a rigged kind of lame, just like people bickering at each other reality trash TV show? And he goes, no. It's something entirely different. And I watched this season and I'm going episode and then we do another episode, then we do another episode. And looking back on it, season 4 isn't really all that good. It's kind of boring, but I was absolutely enthralled.
Yeah.
Absolutely enthralled. I loved everything that was going on in that.
And that just made the other seasons that you watch even better if that's where you were starting out at.
Within the past year, I've seen about 25 seasons of Survivor.
And how long is each season?
Each season is 13 to 14 episodes, and they're all an hour long.
Okay, so those are shorter-ish seasons for TV. Like I if I think of like a show like that, I'm thinking I've been watching a lot of Dance Moms recently.
Okay, of course. As one does.
As one does. And the seasons on that, the first couple ones were 13 episodes, the next one was 20 episodes, but season 3 I think is something crazy 30 or 40 episodes.
Wow. So what do they do for 40 episodes in Dance Moms?
The moms just talk shit and watch their kids dance.
Oh my God.
That's literally all it is. It's just drama from one episode to the next. Recently, spoiler alert for anyone trying to watch Dance Moms, but in season 3, all the moms just quit one day. So Abby Lee, the person who runs the dance company that all the moms go to, just replaced all of them immediately, and everyone's still salty about it later in the season.
So when the moms quit, do the kids quit?
They have to.
Oh, yeah, I would assume you don't have a...
But Abby complains that the kids don't stand up to their moms and just come in anyway.
I have seen clips. I believe I know who you're talking about. Because as our Lord and Savior JoJo Siwa got her start on Dance Moms, am I correct?
You are right.
So sometimes I'll be on my TikTok and JoJo Siwa will appear and it'll be a clip of Dance Moms and it's this head mom who just yells at the kids. Is that what most of the show is?
Yeah, it's a lot of yelling at the kids. Abby Lee actually isn't a mom herself.
Okay.
So she just yells at the kids.
Is she a mom in title only? She has no kids, but she's a figurehead mother.
Well, I think the title Dance Moms comes from the fact that it's while it is about Abby Lee teaching these kids to dance, a lot of the story arcs, if you will, come from the fact that the moms keep talking shit about Abby and about each other.
Oh my God.
And people will trade studios. This one lady, I'm trying to think of her name. This one mom, her name's Jill. She has this daughter named Kendall, and she keeps switching studios. She was at Abby Lee's for a bit, and then she went to Abby's rival studio, Candy Apples, for a while.
Okay.
And then she went after she was getting bored of that studio because her daughter wasn't. She was starting off with getting a lot of special gigs. I think Kendall danced for the Globetrotters.
As in the Harlem Globetrotters?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, did
Kendall's out here doing real things.
Yeah, but after a bit, the dance teacher sort of stopped getting her all those special gigs. So Jill left, went back to Abby Lee, and now like there's still like she's still considering leaving Abby Lee again for another studio. It's crazy stuff, but yeah, it's just a lot of drama between the moms. That's kind of what it's about.
You know, maybe the real moms are the friends we made along the way. But I might check that out. I might have to boot up some dance moms on the old TV sometime.
Yeah, it gets it gets to be a lot. I'm sorry, I got a cough. What the heck? Okay. But yeah, so Survivor, would you like have you like considered like trying to get on Survivor?
Oh, I have a whole plan.
You have a whole plan.
I have a plan.
What is this plan to get on, Jeff?
So, you know, I applied to Northwestern. You know, Northwestern got good academics. It's a cool campus. But no, I applied to Northwestern because there's something called Northwestern Survivor. And they have one at Michigan, too. My brother Will, who goes to Michigan, was on a season of Michigan Survivor. It's not out yet. They're currently editing it, but it's over. And
these are just like, I guess, smaller versions of Survivor that are college specific.
Yeah, they're college specific. So in the Northwestern version, it would be a semester spanning 100-day long event where they have 20 students and they participate in challenges. They're put onto tribes and they have to vote a person out every week. And it's like a real thing. They're hour-long episodes and it goes on for 13 to 14 episodes for each season.
Really?
And my plan is to go to Northwestern and join the Survivor Northwestern Club and work as an editor for a little bit. And then when I'm a sophomore, I'm like, hey, guys, get me on that show. Put me in there. Get me in there. I do. It doesn't matter really how well I do, but then the following seasons, I'm going to be the host of that bad boy.
Oh.
And I'm going to be the guy saying, come on in, guys. And you got to dig deep. You know, the classic Jeff stuff for Survivor. And then when I apply, they're going to be like, man, you were the host and a contestant on Survivor Northwestern?
Yeah, that's a good resume on there.
And then I'm just going to wow them with my Survivor knowledge and passion for the show, and they're going to put me on there.
Yeah, you do have quite the passion for the show, I'll say that. So, like, what is different about Survivor from other, like, similar shows? Like, I know there's the only other thing that really comes to mind is something like Big Brother.
Big Brother's also like the CBS alternative. I haven't spent a ton of time watching other reality TV shows, probably just because there's so much Survivor for me to watch.
Yeah.
But coming into it, I didn't think that Survivor was real. I thought that it was going to be like the Bear Grylls, like, oh, they're out there, but they're eating granola bars on the side, and they have like little tents and stuff that they climb into. But according to all of the contestants and all of the workers and producers, that's not the case at all. They're really out there. And they're really surviving. And it's very apparent in the first few seasons because nobody knows what they're doing. The fourth season, the one that I started on, I don't think they gave them any food.
Really?
They showed up to the island and all they had was a machete and like maybe a pot. And they said, oh, there's fruit around. You can go catch some fish.
Yeah.
And the whole season, people were like on the verge of death.
Really?
They were just lounging around. They got so skinny. There was this one old guy named Pascal who was like taken out of the game because he got he fell down at one of the challenges and then collapsed after he was voted out.
After he was voted out?
It was pretty bad.
He gets voted out and then nearly dies?
Yeah, there was at the following tribal council, there's just like, Pascal isn't here because he collapsed on the way out and had to go to the hospital. And it kind of it brings a sense of reality to the reality TV because these people are so hungry and they're so dehydrated and they're so stressed out because they feel like everybody's, gunning to get them. And then they kind of blow up and you have these big dramatic scenes. And then some people stay really smart and they're able to maneuver their way and strategize. And it just makes for an incredibly entertaining experience. I would recommend it to a lot of people.
Yeah, I might have to check it out. And that's the thing about reality TV these days is that it's only barely reality anymore. It's a lot of like scripted scenarios. Well, not necessarily scripted, but like planned out scenarios. And I have to admit, even something like Dance Moms, a lot of it does feel planned out just with like there being a rival dance studio that like the moms keep trading between. And it just... a lot of reality TV seems very, very planned out. So it's like, it's not so much reality as it is just like people reacting to a situation that's given to them already.
Yeah.
So
it's like stuff is encouraged. Like, we're going to throw this in front of you and we want you to react like this. Can you do that?
Yeah, but that's actually really cool to hear that Survivor does kind of like go against the grain in that it does, from what you said, it seems more reality than not reality.
It would be pretty, I guess it's pretty apparent when you watch.
Yeah.
And another thing is, like, while it can be disappointing when you're watching, the winner isn't always satisfying.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, well, if this was planned, then this person would have won, you know?
Uh-huh.
And that makes it all the better when the winner is really satisfying.
Yeah.
And, you know, like a person who you wanted to win, and you're like, this person really won. That's really cool. So I think it's pretty enjoyable. I spend my time watching that.
Yeah. One show that I've also been getting into that isn't Dance Moms is this show called The American Bible Challenge.
I have never heard of the American Bible Challenge.
I got into it because I was scrolling through Instagram, and on a meme page that I follow, there was this post of it wasn't the American Bible Challenge, it was the Bible Bee. And so basically it was there were several contestants at podiums, and then there was a desk of judges, and they started they started reciting a Bible verse, and they got like 2 words into it, and then this Indian guy buzzes in right away, and then he names the verse, and they were like, oh wow, that's right, can you recite the rest of the verse? And he just goes like it's not just one verse too, it's like several different verses, and he just from like 2 words,
he's going the whole scripture. He knows exactly where in that book. He could flip through that book and point at it.
Yeah. And like regardless of like what your view of Christianity or the Bible is, like something like that is just super impressive.
Very impressive.
So I didn't know it was the Bible Bee at first, so I tried looking for the show, but I ended up coming across the American Bible Challenge, and it's hosted by Jeff Foxworthy, the same guy who hosts Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what happened in his career to go from Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader to the Bible Challenge.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, but it was just, I started watching that, and it was just so fascinating to like see these people who like really know their Bible.
And is it like a similar style to the Bible Bee? Is it like, we're going to read you a little bit of this line and you have to finish it out for us and show us where in the book it is?
Not quite. It's I'm trying to think of a show to compare it to, but nothing really comes to mind. But the idea is that they do like, it's basically just a quiz show, really. They have different challenges, like with like different Christianity puns in the names. Like there's Shuffle Lord, where they'll have to, so they have all these like discs that have different either names or books of the Bible, and it'll be like, oh, name the first 10 books of the New Testament, and then they have to like slide it across this table and get it into like this specific ring and not knock any others out.
Oh, so it's like even more game show.
Yeah. Or there's another challenge called Godflix, where they'll like put up this photoshopped movie poster and then they'll give a description like the Virgin Mary had Jesus in a manger, and then they'll ask a question related to it, like what were the 3 gifts that the Magi or 3 wise men, whatever it is, what did they bring afterwards? And it's just like a lot of different things like that, and it's like it's so fascinating.
And what are the contestants that come onto the show? Are they like evangelical Christian moms who are just like, I love reading the Bible?
It's a lot of different kinds of people. Like, so there's usually 3 teams of 3 people each.
Okay.
And it like there are cases where it is just like a bunch of moms, or there was one episode where it was people who were studying to be priests, and they actually did kind of poorly. Like they lost to
rookies.
I think they might have actually lost to just like a group of moms who just happened to know their Bible really well, and or there's a couple of like Christian hip hop groups that come on, just like Christian hip hop groups. Or one time there was a trio of beauty pageant winners. It was like
that was their talent, is they knew the Bible really well.
Yeah, and they all have funny names like what? I'm trying to think of one. Oh, never mind.
We'll have to pull it up later.
Yeah,
we'll put it in the comments or in the description.
Yeah, something like that. But it is just like, it's just a lot of puns throughout the show, and I think it's super funny.
I like that. I like how they're having fun with it. You know, they're not being too strict. They're being silly, you know?
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is that it's all for charity. No one, like, there's a $20,000 reward at the end, but it goes to a charity of the group's choice.
Okay, because I think Family Feud does something similar to that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, and like every single group wins some money. Like, I think if you're in third place, you'll get $2,500. If you're in second, you'll get $5,000 for your charity, and then the big winners get $20,000.
Let's go for my charity. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a wholesome little thing.
And what was the name of the show?
The American Bible Challenge.
American Bible Challenge. I might need to look that up.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. But they only have the third season, I think.
I need all those. I need all the seasons.
Yeah. Have you been watching any other shows other than Survivor?
That's a good question. I haven't been watching very much TV. I was in the car, you know, for 2 weeks for a while, you know, did a whole cross-country road trip. In that time, though, I read like 400 chapters of One Piece.
Wait, you read like the manga?
Yeah, because I mean, like I was looking at ways. I've been reading JoJo's for a while.
Yeah.
And I downloaded the Shonen Jump app because I know that was a pretty good way to get downloadable manga.
Yeah.
And save it on your phone, so I wasn't using LTE data the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have JoJo's. They only had, like, the best thing that they had was One Piece.
Yeah.
So I just downloaded One Piece, and I read so much One Piece.
Really?
So something like, I don't know, 30,000 pages of One Piece.
So have you seen, like, the actual show for One Piece?
I've not seen the anime because, I don't know. I guess I kind of prefer reading it because even though I haven't watched it, I've heard that the pacing in the show isn't always the best because they catch up to the manga. Yeah. And then they're like, okay, we kind of have to draw out what we're doing so they have time to continue, where that's not really an issue in the physical or online book of it.
Yeah, that happens a lot with different shows. One that comes to mind is Dragon Ball Z. Mm-hmm. When they were making the original Dragon Ball Z series, it was during the Frieza fight that where they were still doing the manga, so they had to like interlace the show with just scenes of like the planet just getting destroyed or falling apart. It was just a lot of that just to spread out that time. It wasn't even like filler. It was just like nothing.
Mm-hmm. I think I saw a post or something where one page, it was 5 panels of like Luffy beating up a guy in the manga was 5 minutes of those 5 panels in the anime. Because they're like, we just gotta kill time. Just like throw in a bunch of stuff. Just do whatever you need to.
Yeah. So. Shows like that, like One Piece, Naruto, or Fairy Tail, it's hard to get into those just because they are so long and just so filled with filler. Like I grew up with Naruto. I think it's a fun show, but I couldn't even put it in my top 10 or probably even like top 20 animes. Mm-hmm. I actually recently watched a show you recommended to me a while ago, Made in Abyss.
Really? Did you have you finished it?
Yeah, I actually watched the movie the other day. Was it Dawn of the Deep Soul? I
think so.
Yeah, and it was actually really good.
Yeah, that was my opinion where I watched the show and I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. I'm enjoying this. And then I saw the movie. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm really invested. This was a lot to take in for an hour and a half, and now I want to continue.
The movie had me messed up right after.
Oh my god.
I don't even know if I want to talk about it and spoil it for everyone. But I actually watched the show a while back, probably closer to the beginning of the year, or soon after you recommended it to me. I watched it and I enjoyed it. It was like a interesting time. I don't know if I would say fun time because
definitely maybe not fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn away to cough.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I do it all the time. But yeah, it's interesting how it has like this cutesy art style, but then it gets really like dark and gory, especially towards the end of the season.
I really watch it for the world building. You know,
Yeah.
like this might be mean of me, but I don't really care about the characters.
Oh yeah, they're not great characters.
I mean, I think they're written fine, but that's like not why I'm watching it. I'm watching it because I want to see what the deal is with the abyss.
Yeah.
You know, in the name, Made in Abyss.
Yeah, the setting is just so perfectly put together. Like you showed me that map of the entire abyss, and it's just like it's so interesting and well thought out. And it's just like such a cool concept of these characters diving into this abyss and seeing like all the different things that it has to offer, what like different adventures it could take them on. And it was like it was such like a I guess twist that towards the end of the season it got like super duper like heavy and gory towards the end. Like it was just like a interesting mind boggle. And again, the movie was so messed up.
Very, very definitely a little bit of a warning on that before you jump into it.
Yeah, I remember like afterwards watching that, I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not doing a Jeff with podcast, a podcast with Jeff today, because I wouldn't be able to do it with like my mindset at the moment.
Daniel, you know what time it is? I think it's time to open up my G Fuel.
Oh yeah, I gave that to you before we started, and you ready to taste it?
I've been looking at it, so I'm seeing this is Performance Energy Limited Edition.
Oh,
are you sure you're comfortable sharing this with me? It's limited edition. It's gonna be worth something.
Go for it.
It's got PewDiePie on the front. What flavor?
It's lingonberry. Is that how you pronounce it?
PewDiePie flavor.
It's some like Swedish berry.
Yeah, PewDiePie flavor.
The PewDiePie flavor. I share this with people on like every episode.
We'll get a little bit of
get a good swig
sipping ASMR right here.
Oh, how is it?
This is, as the kids say nowadays, this is kind of bussing. You know, I don't drink soda that often. I'm terrified of kidney stones.
Oh yeah,
truly my biggest fear is kidney stones. I say that as I drink my coffee.
Yeah,
but I would make an exception for some G Fuel every now and then.
No, G Fuel, it's like it's probably one of the few energy drinks that I don't hate the flavor of. I don't know, like with Red Bull and most Monsters, it has this like weird energy drinky flavor, but this doesn't really seem to have it. And like the nice thing about this is that it actually has 0 sugars, and it's not just replaced with that aspartame stuff that most diet drinks replace sugar with. I think I looked it up, and I think they actually sweeten it with something similar to stevia.
Okay.
So it's like not horrible for you. I mean, it's hard to say that it's good for you, but it's not the worst thing that you could put in your body.
Well, as a wise man once told me, you don't put bad fuel in a Ferrari. So I'm glad I'm not putting bad fuel in this Ferrari.
Yeah. That's a great saying. So, Jeff, before the podcast, you were saying that you have some opinions on ghosts.
I have very strong opinions on ghosts.
Are they real? Do you think they're real? Are they fake? Are they just figments of our imagination? Or are they really spirits from the underworld trying to call to us and make contact?
I will say this with more confidence than I've said anything in my life before. And I defy people to write in the comments and try to prove me wrong. Ghosts are not real.
Oh, yeah.
No chance. No chance. Am I allowed to say a mildly naughty word?
Sure.
No chance in hell, you know, as people could say. Maybe a little pun for the ghosts there. And I've had so many conversations because I've put polls on like Snapchat or Ghost Real. I've asked a lot of close friends and then maybe acquaintances. An overwhelming amount of people believe in ghosts. Daniel, do you believe in ghosts?
No.
Okay.
It's all bullshit.
Because I was walking with my brother's roommate, the guy I lived with in Seattle. We're like, hey, Adine, do you believe in ghosts? And he goes, maybe. I go, what do you mean by maybe? It's a yes or no question. He goes, well, there's this house where some people died, you know, near my neighborhood. And there are definitely ghosts in there. And we went, so you don't maybe believe in ghosts. You believe in ghosts.
He just didn't want to admit it in front of you.
I guess, because he knows how
strong your opinion is.
How strong my opinions are on ghosts.
Yeah, like the idea of ghosts would be cool. If like they were real, it would be cool to think, oh, you know, like my dead family members are just like chilling on the couch with me, or this house is haunted and anyone who goes into there is gonna get possessed. Like, cool ideas. It would be fun. It would be a scary time for sure, but it would be interesting, a more interesting world if there were ghosts. But the thing is that it's so easy to just like trick and mess with the human mind. Like if you watch a horror movie, after you get done with that horror movie, it's very easy to fall into this mindset of, okay, even though I don't believe in ghosts, like the dark now freaks me out. It's easy to like, it's so easy for like people to manipulate their own thoughts into believing, oh, this happened. You know, I heard a creak in the hallway. I thought, that has to be a ghost. It couldn't just be like a random noise from the house.
Because it's everybody's justification. And I guess I should say, when I say ghosts aren't real, I mean the horror movie, Ouija board, stereotypical ghost. Not like a...
For sure.
I don't want to get into any like deep cultural beliefs. But so many people's justifications are, well, so I was in my room alone, and then the door slammed shut. Had to be a ghost. And I'm thinking... if that kind of ghost was real, if the ghost that like turns off your lights or slams your door, or ghost of your like dead great-great-great-grandma is real, we would know about it. We know what an atom is, like the smallest thing. We know what it is. We've taken a picture of a black hole. If ghosts were real and you could just like know about one because it slammed your door shut, we would know that ghosts were real. It would be in my biology textbook that, oh, this is what a ghost is. Yeah,
because there's just so many instances of people thinking, oh, like just like what you said, I was alone in my house, the door slammed shut, the lights flickered, like there's so many stories about that, and yet no confirmation on ghosts. Now, in my speech class for Rock Valley, I actually had a professional ghost hunter in my class.
Really?
Yeah, and when we had to do speeches about ourselves, he did a 20-minute speech on just stories about him ghost hunting.
You need to have this guy on the podcast.
I know. The thing is, like, he was pretty convincing. Like he showed like video footage of like, he didn't like see any actual ghosts, but he got like this sensor or recorder thing, and he was like, oh, you hear that? That was the voice of the ghost. And it was like an actual, it was like you could actually hear like not, it wasn't a very distinguished voice, but it was there just enough to make out certain words. And like, but it's still like that. Something like that is so easy to fake. Were you going to say something?
No, I agree with you. And I would actually like to talk to this guy about ghosts because he seems like he puts a lot of his time and effort into researching and hunting ghosts.
Oh yeah. He was actually like a really fun guy to have in the class,
because I generally compare believing in ghosts to believing in Santa Claus. You know how a 5-year-old or 6-year-old will believe in Santa Claus and they're like convinced he's real. And that's the person who puts the like presents under the tree and, you know, eats the cookie. But then when you're told by your parents or whatever, and spoiler alert for all the children watching, that Santa isn't real, you're upset about it.
No!
You're upset about it. But you're like, at least this was my case. I was really upset. I cried a little bit. Santa wasn't real. And then I thought, you know, if I really took the time and thought about it, I would know that Santa wasn't real. I would know that there's no way that this guy can fly around with his reindeer and deliver presents to every single kid in one night and live at the North Pole. I just didn't want to think about it because I thought Santa being real was fun. So that's why when people believe in ghosts, I think if they really thought about it, if they really took the time and thought, is the evidence real? Are ghosts real? Like, what happens after you die? They would not believe in ghosts. But they don't want to, like, they want to believe in ghosts. They don't want to, like, think about it because believing in ghosts is fun. Yeah. So I guess there's no harm in believing in ghosts, but I'm still going to, like, make fun of people who believe in ghosts.
Oh, yeah. There's not really a harm, but, like, it does. I feel like it is kind of a confirmation bias thing where someone might think that they might want to believe that they're, like you said, they want to believe in ghosts because that's fun. That would be cool. But so when something does happen that could could be ghost related, they automatically jump to the conclusion, oh, that was a ghost.
Mhm.
It's not just like, oh, some like random thing happened. The wind blew the door closed, or like sometimes electricity just kind of wonks up and lights flicker. It does happen.
One thing that's really funny to me is I was talking to somebody, I won't name their name or anything, who vehemently believed in ghosts. They had all these stories on how ghosts like were real, and they like a ghost shut their dog door and all these like encounters. But they were also pretty devoutly Christian and believed in God and heaven and hell. And I'm not going to talk about whether or not God and heaven or hell are real, because those are cultural, deep-seated religious beliefs, not something worth going into.
Yep.
But how are you going to believe in God and that you go to heaven and hell after you die, and then believe in ghosts and you become a ghost after you die? I don't think that those things really match up. Do you have an opinion on this?
My parents are very Christian. I do go to church like every Sunday, and that's a hard one to put my finger on a little bit. Because you do make a good point. Like, if you go to heaven or hell, like, you would think, oh, you're stuck in those two places, and in one of those two places, and you can't really interact with the world. But there's also,
how do you be a ghost?
Yeah, but I will say that there's also instances in the Bible of demons or sometimes angels interacting with people on Earth. But I don't know. I don't know if there's ever been like a ghost apart from like. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Usually if there is like something from the underworld or from heaven interacting with the world, the physical earth world, it is usually a demon or an angel.
And this person had beliefs in demons and angels, and I will never deny the existence of a demon or an angel because of their importance to like cultures and beliefs. But then they also said, I don't know, have you ever seen The Conjuring?
I have.
Are they demons in The Conjuring, or are they just ghosts?
I think it's got to be a demon.
Okay.
I think that's the case. Yeah, because they did have like a priest come in and expel it from the lady.
Okay, so I guess I can't, like, something I thought was silly was when I asked, why do you believe in ghosts? They said, well, have you ever seen The Conjuring? And I said, no. And they said, well, it's based off a true story. And I went, oh my, that's a movie. But I guess, like, if it's not a ghost and it's a demon, I'll give it a pass. I won't get mad at that.
Yeah, like the thing is that there's also stories of that. Like my mom told me about how back in the Philippines when during you all right? Did you choke on something?
Just a little bit of this PewDiePie Performance Energy Limited Edition Zero Sugar G Fuel. Sorry, continue.
So yeah, back in the Philippines, she talked about how her and her friends, well, one kid wasn't showing up to school for a while, so her and a couple other friends went over to their house, and the parents were saying that the kid was demon possessed. That's why she wasn't at school. Wow. Yeah, I might be butchering the story. It's been a while since I've heard it, but I think that's the setup. But the point is that this girl, they tried to lift her up, and she was so heavy that they couldn't pick her up. And like, people are heavy. People can be heavy, but you should be able to lift someone. I don't think it was like this, obese person who would have been too heavy to pick up for them.
Now I kind of wonder what the ghost hunter guy in your Rock Valley class has to say about stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because he would, I guess this might be something that's right up his alley. He can be like, oh, well, that's happened before here in Rockford. Kid was super heavy. That's a demon ghost.
Yeah, like, so it's, like, that's my mom telling me that. I trust my mom, but also, like, I didn't see that firsthand. I don't know what was actually going on there. I've never had a ghost experience, and anything that could have been a ghost experience, I didn't interpret as a ghost trying to make contact with me. It was just like this random event. And so I wonder what that could be, but I wonder if it could just be like because another thing is that there's a lot of false memories. It's very easy like to try to remember something and not quite get it right. So you just kind of, our brain does this thing where we fill in the gaps with just like these false memories,
these justifications. Yeah,
that we think are real. You might not like think you're lying, but in reality, parts of those memories are made up.
So I guess if I go home And if I ever have a ghost experience, I'll be sure to let you guys know. See if I change my mind on these ghosts.
Your eyes will be opened in the future.
Oh my God, I was sitting in my room and then my door closed.
A ghost is going to make contact with you tonight, Jeff.
No, ghosts are one thing, but ghouls.
Ghouls.
Are they real? Maybe.
What's the difference between a ghost and a ghoul?
So a ghost, in my mind, a ghost is the guy that moves the thing on the Ouija board and slams your door shut. And a ghoul is those silly little green guys in Ghostbusters. So I would very much like for ghouls to be real. So I would believe in ghouls.
Yeah. You know, ghosts are one thing, but what do you think about aliens?
Oh, 100% real.
Oh, yeah, they have to be.
Entirely.
Oh, yeah. Like, even, well, the Pentagon has been coming out with a lot of, like, interesting footage of UFOs. Or, sorry, what's the terminology they use now? Is it, like, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena?
I like that term more than UFO. It's kind of cool.
Well, the thing is that they had to get away from the stigma that's attached to UFOs because you hear UFO and it's automatically, crazy people, crazy conspiracy theorists who believe in aliens. And like, the thing is that these really are just unidentified flying objects. It's not necessarily aliens. It's just like things that are flying around that we don't really understand.
Because when I think of UFO, the unidentified flying object, I think of a flying saucer with an alien in it.
Yeah.
And and I'm not even a crazy conspiracy theorist, but that's what I think of.
Yeah, and that's the exact stigma that they were trying to get away from with changing the terminology to UAP. So, but yeah, like all the different footage. Have you seen those videos?
I have not.
Oh, there's like, you know what? I'll pull one up on my phone.
I would like to see a video of a UAP. Yes.
It's like, I need to get a producer so that I can like show this on screen.
Maybe in the after edits, are we going to put this on the blow it up?
Probably
put it on
not. It's editing these podcasts actually takes a very long time.
I'd imagine it's a lot.
I'm trying to find. There's this video that's known as the Go Fast. Just because
go fast.
Yeah. I think here's an ABC News one.
Okay.
Oh. There's an ad for you.
Whoa.
Can you see that all right?
Coors Light, I can.
Okay. I really need a producer. Owen, the house I'm moving to. I didn't tell Owen about this, but here it is.
Okay.
So this is all right. So here, before I show you, the context behind this is that there were Navy pilots flying around, just doing their regular drills, and then during their flight session, they came across this object that they noticed was flying a little too fast to be like something that like a bird or anything else. Mm-hmm. So they started tracking it with their trackers, and they saw it go from like several thousand feet above sea level down to sea level or close to it within a matter of seconds.
They saw it go fast, as the title would suggest.
No, that's exactly why it's called that. And it's like the video footage of it is kind of shitty because it is like an infrared camera, I believe, on a plane that itself is moving at hundreds of miles per hour. Mm-hmm. But according to the pilots, who are supposedly credible people, they saw it with their own eyes as well.
Okay.
So that's what this video is. It's just like a Navy pilot following this thing, trying to track it. Yeah, there's like the radar trying to catch it. Oh, they got it.
I like the voices of the guys. They're so excited that they found this little thing going fast.
Yeah.
Now, do you believe that this could be an alien?
I wouldn't say alien. I really do. I don't know if we've made contact with aliens. I wouldn't go as far as to say that. But I think it's just like, it really is just like an unidentified aerial phenomena. Aliens? Maybe, but honestly don't think so. I think it's just something that we don't really understand. I would probably be more in line with the idea of a probe. If there was something related to aliens.
This wouldn't be like a little dude in a spaceship. They would send something out first.
Yeah, they would send some sort of probe and view us that way and keep track of us that way. Or maybe it is just like something that's been here for forever that we haven't come across yet.
You're right.
Yeah.
Now, Daniel, I I've heard of this job recently,
Uh-huh.
and maybe if you could secure it, I feel like it would be right up your alley. There is a position at the United Nations where it's a board of people, and their sole job is to be the first people to contact aliens.
Really?
Like if aliens come to Earth, and we're all like, who do we send up? Like, it's them. Like they're the people.
They're the people.
They're trained. They study. They're prepared. They're the guys who are gonna go talk to aliens.
So they're the guys who are looking into that very video.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
I suppose I think it'd be a super cool job because if aliens come, that's super cool. You are the first to talk to aliens.
Uh-huh.
And then when they're not here yet, you just sit around. You just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You get paid.
Yeah, that would be an interesting job, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm that invested into aliens.
Well,
I think the idea of it is cool, but I don't think I could dedicate my life to just researching aliens. I feel like if you go down that rabbit hole, then like you're automatically heading down into that conspiracy theorist.
you are right. You would probably be surrounded by people 10 times more passionate about aliens than that guy in your class who liked the ghosts.
Yeah, and then you do fall into like that crazy conspiracy theorist mindset just because that's all you're surrounded by all day, every day.
It would be pretty distinguished, though. You would be on the UN.
Yeah, that would be very cool. Very interesting. That's the thing about aliens, though, that it's like it's similar to ghosts in that, you know, we want to believe it. So we see a video like that and we automatically go, oh, aliens. But really, it is just something we don't understand. And we kind of like we have to be okay with not understanding it for a while. Yeah, there's actually I'm trying to think the exact number, but I saw this like news report that the Pentagon said that they have some 140 reports of UAPs, not necessarily similar to that, but just like different reports. And what's the number? Like, I might be pulling this number out of my ass, but like 80 of them they still can't explain. Like the others they could attribute to like a sensor malfunction or just like some random event that, or just like a random object that like we do actually understand, and it was just like something wonky was there that they could distinguish. But the other 80, which is a very sizable number, they can't explain. And supposedly this is our Pentagon people who I would hope are pretty
bright.
Yeah, who like understand their shit.
So it would be pretty cool. If I would cross my fingers, be cool if that was aliens.
I would hope that there's aliens. I think that would be so cool. Do you think?
I have no doubt in my mind that aliens are real because space is so massive.
Oh, yeah.
And so huge. But like if we are to ever make contact with aliens within the next couple of 100 years, it's not going to be those big green guys and their little flying saucer. It's probably going to be like an amoeba on a on a planet. But that'll still be super cool. Like,
yeah.
I would be pretty psyched if that happened in the 60 or so years I have remaining. Cross my fingers.
Yeah, I would hope so too. But yeah, like we were saying before, the universe is just so big and expansive that there has to be some sort of alien out there, whether it is an intelligent being or, like you said, an amoeba on another planet that's just like this tiny little thing. And we might not come across monkeys jumping around on another planet, but there's got to be something.
Cool. I would like that.
With how expansive the universe is. Or I was listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson a while ago, and he explained that, you know, if the multiverse theory is true, then there would be also an infinite number of universes that have an infinite number of versions of us. Like, we're in this universe, we're on this podcast right now talking about aliens in the universe, but in a whole nother universe, just because like there's so many different possible variations, there's got to be at least another variation of us exactly as we are, but maybe we're talking about Minecraft.
Or maybe it's my podcast and you're a guest or something.
Exactly.
Crazy, something like minor but kind of different about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like this weird thought of you've heard of like the what's the theory called, like the monkey on a typewriter theory?
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's where you give a monkey a typewriter and he randomly clicks buttons and letters, and you give him infinite amount of time. He will eventually write all of Shakespeare's works verbatim in a row, like in chronological order.
Yeah, just because he does have that infinite amount of time, and like even though the chances of that are so minuscule because he has an infinite amount of time to do that,
It's destined to
bound
happen. Yeah, it has to happen.
Yeah, and it's just like, do you think there's other universes? I was about to call you Miles. I don't know why.
Well, we're both pretty handsome.
Yeah, you and Miles are probably like top tier handsome people.
Oh, you flatter me.
Yeah, but do you think that there's a multiverse out there?
I don't fully understand all of like the theoretical information that goes along with it. But I do know that smart people believe that there could be alternate universes.
Yeah.
And call me a sheep, but I believe what those smart people believe. So
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and think that there could be alternate universes. It makes sense to me.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, so PewDiePie, G Fuel, or coffee? Which one?
So this is my homemade, fresh, Clinton Snedegar, ordered from Amazon coffee.
Ooh.
And when I make it myself, it's not very good. Because I don't really like, I like coffee. I go to Dunkin' every once in a while because it's so cheap and it's kind of good. And I go to Starbucks every once in a while to get myself something fancy.
Yeah.
And this is just like almond milk and a little bit of Hershey's syrup.
Yeah.
It's not very good, but it does the job.
Yeah.
This definitely tastes better.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sweet, very, very juicy, very good. It really depends on the day. Probably this in the morning, this at night.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm not so much a coffee drinker anymore. I do usually just go out and get a G Fuel because it has so much caffeine, and I have trouble staying awake anymore just because like everything I do. But when I do make coffee, it's just like whatever we happen to have in the pantry. It's usually like a Starbucks coffee. I just throw it in the coffee maker, and then when I do like put together my cup of coffee in the morning or whenever I drink my coffee, I'll just throw in some creamer, one little scoop of sugar, and then what else do I add? And a little bit of Hershey's chocolate syrup.
Of course.
The Hershey's chocolate syrup goes a long way.
I love the coffee and chocolate mixture. I think it's an excellent pairing.
Yeah, and you only need a little bit. And speaking of mixtures, you do a little bit of cooking yourself, or would it be baking?
The majority of my experience has been in baking.
Yeah.
I used to actually run. When I say I used to run a cake business, I use that very lightly because I maybe had 15 clients ever, and they were all friends of my mom.
Yeah.
And every single cake was $20. So but it was kind of fun. I made a lot of cakes. I have a bit of experience. And it's kind of showed me, I think everybody is capable of making a good coffee, because when I'm following instructions and like I'm planning on making a cake, and I like put a lot of research into it, you can make something great. It's not hard. You just follow the instructions. And I could do that with a coffee. I could follow the instructions and do the right amount of cream and the right amount of sugar and the right amount of Hershey syrup and get all the good ingredients, but I don't want to do that in the morning. So this isn't as good as a Dunkin' or a Starbucks coffee because I just didn't put enough effort into it.
Yeah. And you make a lot of when you did run your cake business, you did make a lot of themed cakes, right? Like I think I remember you made a Fortnite cake for Mike's little brother.
I did. I made 2 cakes for the Tackett family.
Yeah.
And one was for Danny's birthday. I believe he was turning 15. And they said, hey, can we get a cake from Jeff? Any cake, anything. And I said, anything? Looks like Danny's getting a Fortnite cake. So I made a pretty basic cake. It was just like buttercream, vanilla, white cake. And I coated it in a white icing, and put Fortnite in the big blue letters in fondant. And then I found a little Indiana Jones, what's the word?
Was it like a Lego thing?
Action figure.
Action figure?
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. And a little chest, and it looked like he was opening up the chest like you do in Fortnite.
Oh, yup.
I put some grass around him.
Ooh.
So they were really just
fancy.
I made a lot of novelty cakes. I also made a burger cake for Randy.
Oh, really?
Tackett. That was kind of fun.
Oh, that's right up his alley, a burger cake. Would you want to have baking or just like cooking in general sort of incorporated into your future career? Or is it not really a huge passion of yours?
I would say it's a passion. I do enjoy baking, and I do like cooking a little bit. It's something I know less about, but I think to make it into a career would kind of kill it for me. Because you know those people who work at bakeries or a lot of baked good restaurants or establishments, they have to get up at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
and get there and make the bread and make the dough so it's all fresh. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I did rowing for 5 years. I got up at 4:45 every day in the summer for like 4 years straight. Killed me. I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah, you're never going back to rowing just because of how the scheduling was.
Too early. And I would have to get up even earlier if I were to do baking for a career. So I'll probably keep it as a
hobby.
fun hobby.
Yeah, that's not a bad choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know one person who does who bakes. They work for like a family friend, and they have explained to me how much of a grind it is. They were what were they making? I think it was called like bullseyes or something like that.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They were very popular I think they're more popular in the South because they were everywhere when I grew up in Northern Kentucky.
But they talked about how they got a client who ordered like 2,000 of them.
Oh my God.
And so they just had to make hundreds of them every day and come home smelling like peanut butter every single day. And it's just like, I like baking would be fun, but when you have to grind out that much for clients, I can see how that would kind of kill it.
And then you don't even get to eat the final result.
Yeah, you just kind of have to watch other people eat it. But I think it would be so cool if you were like a professional chef or a professional baker and you could just make that kind of stuff for your family.
Mm-hmm.
Like just having that knowledge. Like I always imagine my mom's a decent cook.
Mm-hmm.
She's not like a 5-star Michelin chef, but I just think like the kids of those chefs, they have like every meal's got to be good.
Yeah, like Gordon Ramsay has kids. And they're pretty grown. They had to grow up on the best diet.
Yeah, I just wonder like how much those parents actually cook for their kids. Like, do they ever get takeout?
Or does Gordon Ramsay come home and he's like, oh my God, I cooked all day. We're just ordering from Panda Express.
Yeah.
And they're like, again, Dad, I want you to make me something.
Panda Express ain't too bad though.
I would not complain about Panda Express.
Yeah, like I've been thinking about this is gonna be kind of a shock to some people, but I've been thinking about quitting Dollar Tree. I did bring up before the podcast that we're planning on moving, so you might actually be one of the last guests to be in this studio.
Oh.
So
I'll remember it fondly.
Yeah, we'll be if the offer for the house goes through, then I'll have to move all this into the new home, and it probably won't look like this at all. We have like a room picked out for me at our new house. It's like this extra room attached to the garage. The house we're moving into has a detached garage, and it has like an extra room right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents said that I can just take that over and use that as my studio.
That would be super cool. And then you could be like as loud as you wanted.
Exactly.
You could make some music.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was thinking about. Like, it's just the perfect room because it's separate from the house, so I can yell as much as I want, and it'll be super nice. And like, it's just what was I originally saying before this? We're gonna be moving the studio. I had a point before that.
We were talking about baking for a while.
I totally forgot. I just started talking about...
And then you said that I was going to be one of the last people in this studio
I feel
because
like
you were moving. And you were quitting the Dollar Tree.
Oh, quitting the Dollar Tree, right. Okay. So, yeah, since we're moving, it's going to... The only reason I work at Dollar Tree is because it's a minute away from my house.
Yeah, you could walk, honestly.
Yeah, I could walk. I get to leave like 2 minutes before my shift starts, and it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, there's nothing else really keeping me there apart from how close it is. It pays minimum. The work isn't very rewarding. The people there are nice, I'll say that, but it's just like not a very fun job.
Mm-hmm. And now that Mike's gone, even less people. So.
Yeah, Mike's gone, and then I'll be moving 15 minutes away from it, so not really the best job. But I thought about Panda Express because,
they do pay better. I've seen the little signs where they talk about the payment information.
Yeah, better pay. I think you get free meals, or if you don't get free meals, it's at least discounted. We don't even get like any percentage off of
You
anything
don't get a
at the
discount
Dollar Tree.
at the Dollar Tree.
No, we had listen to this. We had one day, like sort of a Dollar Tree holiday called Employee Appreciation Day, and every employee got 10% off of every $10 purchased at the dollar store.
That's terrible. That's a terrible deal. That's not employee appreciation.
No. And the cherry on top, Jeff, the cherry on top is that it wasn't just for the employees. We had to hand it out to customers too.
Oh my God. So it just puts extra like responsibility on you because
Exactly.
every single purchase you're like, oh, that's 10 items. I got to put in the discount.
Yeah, it was just like, that's not employee appreciation.
Have you ever had any like weird customer encounters at the Dollar Tree? Because I work at Baskin Robbins. I've worked there for about 2 years. I'm planning on quitting in like about a week.
Yeah.
And we get crazy customers, and I kind of just want to know what's a day in the life of a Dollar Tree worker.
There are definitely many weird encounters. I'm trying to think of some. One time I was just stalking normally. Like I was doing I think I was doing drinks, and this one couple comes up to me because if you're stalking, another part of the job is you're going to be answering a lot of questions. People are going to be coming up to you, and even though it's a small store, people don't really look around too thoroughly, and it's a lot of old people who maybe like can't see very well, so they miss things. So you get asked a lot of questions about where things are. And this couple came up to me, and the husband asked me, where do you have waste baskets? So I take a second to think. I go, and then he immediately goes to mocking me. He's like, and if
Oh my God.
I was this close to telling him off, I was literally
That's so disrespectful.
I know, like it's just like, damn, dude, give me a second to think. You couldn't find it on your own. I am taking time out of my actual like stalking work to help you out, and your immediate reaction is to mock me. I was ready to be like, dude, don't fucking do that.
That's him looking at somebody who's younger than him and in a job that's like minimum and thinking, oh, I'm just better than this guy.
Yeah,
I can make fun of him. I'm better than this guy.
Yeah. The thing is that when I did show him where the waste baskets were, he was very nice. He said thank you in a very kind tone. I couldn't recreate it, but so it kind of made up for it, but
Definitely not cool to just immediately start mocking you.
Yeah. And then there was another time I was also stocking drinks, and this one guy, he was just walking down the aisle. He was like, you having fun yet? I was like, I'm having a blast. Like, I didn't really know how to reply to that. So I just said that, and he had the dumbest laugh. He went, huh, 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 huh.
That sounds like an amazing customer encounter.
Yeah, it was a beautiful encounter. That made my day. Just like, how do you develop a laugh like that?
I guess. I don't know. I think it's something you're born with.
Yeah, you have to. I can't imagine that guy having that laugh his entire life and no one telling him, like, did you know that your laugh is a little off?
I'm trying to think of any crazy customer encounters we've had at Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, you've had to have like some weird ones.
We're lucky that people generally are pretty agreeable because you're pretty happy when you come in to get ice cream. You know, like, no, I've run into a few people who are upset.
Yeah.
We've had very many weird flavor combinations. Every day there's somebody who gets like a Rocky Road and a pink bubblegum. I've done that so many times. We also have this flavor called daiquiri ice, which is a very kind of sour tart like sorbet flavor.
I have to say, I thoroughly enjoy that one.
It's pretty good.
I came in once and pronounced it daiquiri, or did I pronounce it like that? Daiquiri, I think I said, and you called me out immediately.
I love doing that to people.
In the kindest way possible.
People don't know how to say macchiato. We have a caramel macchiato. They go,
yeah.
Let me get the caramel machado. And I'm like, oh, caramel macchiato? And they're like, oh.
You do it in the kindest way possible. But
I just gotta let them know.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, you mean daiquiri? Daiquiri.
Daiquiri. It's for future reference, you know?
Just cancel me now.
Because these are all real words. You wouldn't want to pronounce daiquiri wrong to a waitress at a daiquiri establishment.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had like daiquiri ice mixed with a lot of gross chocolate flavors. Rocky Road is the main offender Because it's like chocolate, marshmallow, nuts, and then you put it with a weird sour flavor.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I imagine some people just want to have 2 of one ice cream, or not one ice cream, but 2 different flavors, but they only want one ice cream, so they just get the 2.
I guess. I never, like, I'll judge them a little bit, but then I'll kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
The weirdest, I wouldn't say encounter. The funniest thing that's ever happened to me at Baskin Robbins was not with a customer. It was with Josh Zussman. And I hope he's watching. I'm looking at you, Josh. Josh. Because he did... I just got to tell the story. It's hard to explain. So it's just Josh and I. It's just us 2 together. There's no third person in the store. And it's a little bit slow. And we're just kind of talking, kind of just goofing around. And suddenly, this group of at least 60 plus, like enormous group, comes into the store.
Really?
And this was mid-COVID, so like we could only have 6 people in the store at a time, but they weren't really paying attention to that.
Yeah.
And we didn't have enough people to really call them out. So we're just like, let's get through them as fast as possible. We think it was like a mosque service that had just ended, or maybe like a family gathering, because all these people were together, but they were paying in groups of like 5.
Yeah.
And in the midst of this enormous group, we're just handing out ice cream left and right. This dad comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, my kid got a scoop of pistachio almond and he didn't like it. Is there any way I can swap out this scoop for another scoop?" And we're normally not allowed to do that, but I don't care at all. So I'm just like, yeah, no problem at all. Like, here's the new scoop. I'll just take this one back. And I put it on like the table behind me and I forget about it. We finally finished this enormous group. It's been at least 15, 20 minutes by this point. And Josh looks at the ice cream. This now half melted, bite taken out of it, spoon still in there, pistachio almond. And he goes, "Yo, you gonna eat that?" And I go, "No, it's from a customer. A kid ate that. They put their lips on it." And it's like mid-COVID. And he goes, "Bro, I'm going to eat that. I haven't had pistachio almond before." And I go, "No, you're not. You're not going to eat that. It's gross. Josh. It's melty." And he goes, No. I'm going to eat that." And he picks it up and he eats the whole thing. He eats this whole scoop. And he's like, "That was pretty good." I go, "Dude, you work at the ice cream store. There's 3 gallons of pistachio almond right in front of you. You could have just gotten a new scoop."
Yeah.
I don't know. That was definitely a low moment for him. But I guess he doesn't like food waste. I'll give him props for that. There's no food wasted that day.
That reminds me of those, do you ever watch those videos of like, I think it's like TLC who follows those people who are like super duper big cheapskates? And
I kind of have seen that.
Yeah, and then they'll be at restaurants and they'll ask around the restaurant like, "Hey, are you gonna finish that? Could I take that home with me?"
Oh my God.
And it's just like, good for them for keeping the waste of food down, because that is kind of like a really big issue. I hate seeing wasted food, but also it's like, those are people you don't know. And this was during not flu season, but COVID season, the story with Josh. So that's extra sketchy.
He didn't get COVID.
Good for him,
I guess.
But like, still, that's a ballsy move.
He was brave that day.
Yeah.
I'll never understand it. Never understand it.
Well, Jeff, we are over an hour now. You want to wrap this up?
I do. I kind of have to use the bathroom.
Oh, me too. It's getting...
Maybe we can do it together. Some bonding time.
Yes, exactly. Well, is there anything you want to leave the people with? Anything you want to plug?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think I'm all good. Maybe play some Minecraft. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, play Minecraft, guys.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on, Jeff. It was a great pleasure talking about Ghosts and Survivor and everything else. It was awesome. And thank you for listening. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
That was fun.
That was fun.